Here is a very common misconception. Some people believe that when you do the opposite of what most other people are doing, so when you are contrarian, that you are going to be among the few winners. Because most people that try to trade, they simply go with the market, right? When prices go up, attention goes up, prices go up. So they simply just follow the current trend. And in the short term, that works. But people believe that when you've got longer of a time horizon, that you should be doing the exact opposite of what the masses are doing. In other words, when there's hype attention, when there is hype excitement, when everybody is trading meme coins, that's when it makes sense to exit. Whereas when it's crashing, when everybody is super bearish, when everybody thinks crypto will go to zero, that's when we should be buying. But is that actually true? I do believe that when we are at peak excitement, when a lot of people talk about crypto, when a lot of transactions are being made, when traditional media is talking about new all-time highs in Bitcoin, etc., that it does make sense to take some profit. It does make sense to also take some chips off the table. But I'm not so sure if the same is true when we are going down. Because when people talk about falling prices, first of all, people say, let's just buy the dip, right? When we are still in a bull market, people say, buy the dip. But let's say the dip keeps dipping. At some point in time, people will give up. People will say, this crypto thing isn't for me. Crypto will go to zero. There's no way that this is going to recover. And I believe this is actually not the best time to buy. The best time to buy is not when there is peak negativity in the market. The best time to buy is when there is very little attention, when people aren't looking at crypto anymore. So there is a time when people still are hopeful, when people buy the bottoms. Then there is the time when people give up on crypto, when people say it will just continue crashing, but they still follow crypto YouTube, for example. But then after that, when we continue to go down, then the attention also dwindles. So the time to buy, in my opinion, is not when people are the most bearish. The time to buy is when most people have already left, when most people are looking at other things, are not looking at crypto anymore. So you want to be buying when nobody is looking, not when everybody is talking about the crash. Because when everybody is still talking about the crash, then there's still some attention in the market left, and that can still deflate further, and that can still push prices further down. When people aren't looking at their portfolios anymore, or when people have already sold off their entire portfolio altogether, that's when you want to buy.
Here are the videos that work on YouTube. XRP will be $12,000 guaranteed, or an AI explosion, top 3 cryptos to buy in November. A lot of pushing of greed, that's what gets the clicks. What doesn't get the click is a tutorial on how to make backtests, on how to build those sheets that in the end figure out what historically worked well in the past. The backtest that I often show here on this channel. I still very much enjoy producing this kind of content though. I also share these kinds of sheets, but I don't do it on YouTube. You also get direct access to me. Feel free to check it out. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com.
So it's not necessarily the sentiment of the market. It's not necessarily, is there currently greed or fear in the market? I believe it's simply just an attention game. In other words, bad news is good as well. Bad talk about crypto is good as well, relatively speaking, right? When people are talking crap about Bitcoin, when people talk about it will further go down, then people are at least still talking. And that means that the price hasn't yet bottomed. The price has bottomed once people stop talking. So it's very different to time the top versus the bottom. For the top, you really want to look at peak excitement. For the top, you really want to see maximum speculation in meme coins. You want to look for comments such as, it would be insane to sell Bitcoin now because Bitcoin will make another 3x from here. Who would sell Bitcoin in this market? When comments like this start appearing, that's when you want to sell. But you don't want to necessarily sell when the same kind of people say Bitcoin will go to zero. You want to be selling when those kind of people disappear. You want to sell when those people aren't watching any crypto YouTube anymore. So for the tops, it's about excitement. For the tops, it's about long-term holders potentially selling. For the bottoms, it's about attention being at historical lows. So YouTube views being at historical lows, comments being at historical lows, number of transactions being at historical lows. You want to see the lowest activity, not necessarily the most pessimism. It's apathy that creates the bottoms. It's not necessarily negativity. And so that then also gives us some kind of measure where we are currently in the cycle, right? A lot of people made a lot of money with meme coins. We have come down quite a bit from the top already, but we are nowhere near yet bottom attention. We still see a lot of activity on crypto Twitter, people looking for the next potential altcoin. We still see crypto podcasts getting their views. And so if you work with the thesis that we have already topped, who knows if we have, right? But if we think that we've already topped, then probably we will further go down from here. We are probably not going to consolidate here. That's at least my opinion, right? If we are in a bear market, then this bear market is definitely not over. Is there a possibility that we could recover from here? Yes, of course there is. But there needs to be some kind of catalyst, right? What would generate further excitement? The Bitcoin halving has already happened. The Bitcoin ETF has already launched and it doesn't have that many inflows right now. The stablecoin market caps aren't growing that much. What could be the next narrative that would get people excited to buy in right now? Because people buy now because they anticipate future demand. But what could be that future demand? I don't have that answer yet. I don't know what the next narrative could be. On average, Bitcoin holders are still more than 2x in profit. The current price is more than 2x above the realized price. So people are still taking profit. They're not buying in for the super cheap. So I don't believe we are at an obvious bottom from here. Have we already seen the top? There are some indicators that suggest this. Of course, not all indicators suggest it, but we have, for example, seen that the value that is destroyed peaked out pretty much also when the price peaked. And so I don't have a crystal ball either, right? But I tend towards believing that we are rather going to see some negative months from here. If you are currently set up in a way that in case we do see, say, a 20-30% drop in Bitcoin, and you would then get totally crushed with your portfolio because you're in ultra high risk investments, then I do believe it does make sense to be more diversified. Because in the end, nobody knows where the price will go. And in case it does go down, you want to be able to take opportunity of those lower prices, right? You do want to have some money on the side, be this cash, be this in stocks, be this in something that's not correlated, to take advantage of those lower prices in case we do see them. So have enough exposure in case we go up that you're still happy with the gains, but don't be overexposed that in case we go down that you can't take advantage of those lower prices to buy low to then later on sell high afterwards. For the bottom, let's look at maximum apathy. Let's look at very low attention. For the top, let's look at extreme optimism. That's at least how I do the timing for the crypto macro cycles. And so far, this played out relatively well for me. If it's the first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish here regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. Feel free to also check out our Telegram. It's 100% free. The link is down below. Looking forward to chatting with you on Telegram. Cheers.